baby, I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
I had this feeling and I just couldn't get over myself.
I always knew. That was passionate as fuck.
That was it.
Five, four, three, two, one. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shane Newbert, and today we have a very special guest in the studio. It only took us 67 attempts to get him in here, but he's finally here. The beautiful, the lovely Craig Gaul.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
And Craig is we can run through the list here, but improv, comedy, burlesque, rugby.
Yep.
We can keep going. And, a bit of a male model, if I do say so.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
You're a bit of a heartthrob in the community, I tell you what.
Really? Okay.
And you'll hear a little bit more about that as we get through this episode.
Okay.
But Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, YouTube, all those things. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And if you haven't left an Apple review, go do it right now. Because we just need a couple more to get to a point where Apple will push out the podcast for us. And subscribe. All you have to do is you don't even have to stop the YouTube video. Just scroll down, hit subscribe, hit the like, and leave a comment. Leave a comment. It means a lot. It helps our videos do better, and we're trying to do a lot of work right now. But Craig, the very first thing we're going to start with is you are a very large man.
Thank you. But yeah.
What are you, 6'4", 6'5"?
I am, depending on what convenience store I'm leaving, I'm either between 6'7" and 6'5". So
yeah, you might be 6'9" in the studio. So
it feels that way sometimes, but yeah.
Man, dude, and you got some mitts on you. And so you were an athlete growing up.
Yeah, so I actually, way young, like middle school, elementary school, I was one of the kids just kind of in the background, kind of hood up, not very extroverted at the time.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't until about high school that I got more comfortable with just being myself and such like that. And it was senior year in high school that I started playing rugby.
Yeah.
And then that's when kind of the athletics kind of took off.
And I've seen some of the photographs and stuff of your legs, man. Rugby players' legs, just the way you guys drive, and I believe it's called scrum.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
That's about the extent of my knowledge of rugby.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different plays. So a scrum is where it's kind of like a face-off in hockey.
Do you wear cups in rugby?
Some guys do. I personally have not. Okay, not to brag. No, I'm just joking. No, it's mostly it's because with rugby, like the shorts are so short.
You want me? I can dive into an email we got about you.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna break away from rugby for just a moment, but we'll get right back to it because I feel like this is gonna make you feel real good about yourself.
Okay.
We actually got a question that said it was more about wanting you to talk about your custom-made thongs.
Yeah.
Because your junk is so long that it hangs and swangs. Got the nude beach. People think they're looking for lost rings.
Yeah. So I have a lot of problems with the rugby shorts are so short that there's just no room. So I go without it. It's a risk, but I go without it. And then the whole custom thong thing. So performing, I've always had issues with finding the right performance wear, if you will. Yeah. And I've got talking to somebody who's done, men's wear before and stuff like that. And they were very surprised at how how big of the pouch needed to be.
Well, let's get into it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so like maybe give me an object. What is the object that you would place as your what would the word be? Penis? Or is it just monstrous testicles? Maybe a mixture of both. you see why I say if you need something clipped, we can always get it out of here.
Yeah. I don't mind.
People are obsessed with your wiener at this point.
Apparently. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. This is the 411 right here. I would say I'm slightly above average. And it's mostly the sack that's just massive.
Oh,
so
you got a massive sack.
Oh my God, it is. The number of times someone's like ex-girlfriends or whoever be like, "Oh my God," be like, "I know, I get it. That's why I have to sit like so angled away." And, like people think it's like, "Oh, you're just trying to."
Present yourself.
Yeah. Like, no, honestly, I could never sit cross-legged. Like, sorry. Like, that's just me.
And you see, that is, people like always big guys. Big guys have, are going to have big old wieners or big old nuts. And, I'm one of the lucky ones as well. Like I didn't ask for this at being 5'7", but see, I'm the opposite. I've got these small nuts from all the steroids I took back when I used to powerlift, but I'll just extend it out, man. And we went to a stand-up show in Dubuque the other day, and it turned into, because I've showed everybody my wiener at stand-up.
And you haven't shown me yet.
I'll show you. I'll show you right now. I'll show you right now. Here, we'll do it live on the podcast. Here, I'll just show you a picture of it.
Okay.
All right. We'll make this a little bit more comfortable rather than, all right. Yeah, so see, like, this thing just goes way up, like, it goes way up there.
Oh, shit, okay.
Yeah, it goes way up. And so what did I do? I got another one here. We got some goodies, dude. I take a lot of nude photos. But it's a long, it goes a good ways. And so it turned into a stand-up show because we were all bombing. We were all completely bombing. And then we were sitting there, and Stevie Mo started talking about my wiener and how Timmy was going to die from it. And then it was Jake McDowell, then it was Todd Basinger, and it just ran through. So, dude, do you have the extra scan? Are you circumcised, or you?
Circumcised, yeah.
Damn, I was going to say we could dock it up on the podcast and blur it out. So you get these custom panties made.
Yeah, no, it's I'm just like, so we had a costuming day with a few of the burlesque performers, and literally it was just going back and forth. Like they were like, okay, like try this out, and I'm like going into the restroom, like test fitting it basically and whatever, and I'm just like, nah, we up it up, we need more. And she's just like, after about the fourth time of me having to go back and like try something on, and she's just like, okay. She was just like, yeah, it was just like massive, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Well, maybe we could figure out, there's a lot of great charities and a lot of great causes out there. And you're probably like, what the fuck is he about to say right now?
Yeah, I'm just like, whoa, hey, what's going on?
But maybe what we could do is a photo shoot. We know a lot of great photographers out there. There's Honey and Ether. There's I want to say, Katy Perry's, but hers is called
Wanderlust.
Wanderlust
Perry.
Yeah. And there, we know a lot of real good photographers. We could get something in the works, man.
Yeah,
we'll donate it all to charity.
I like what you're thinking. I'm like, where are you going with this? Yeah.
Yeah, because like the other day, we had Wicked Jezebel. She came into the studio. She gave us a gift, and it was red lace stockings.
Oh yeah.
And then we had another burlesque performer give me a pair of men's white lace underwear. And so I decided to put them on, and
there you go.
And I was like, man, I look fabulous. I couldn't stop. I was addicted. But now, because even to go back to your beauty as a man,
well, thank you.
You were a shaved head guy, and now you let this beautiful mane go. You're one of those guys like even like Timmery. Timmery was hideous as a child. Timmery looked like she should be in a cage or in a basement and let her ferment a little bit longer, because as she got older, the hotter she got, because she just was a good Lord, what a tough thing to look at as a child. And but no, like, and that is cool. I really like in this 10-year challenge thing. It shows a lot of people like glowing up, like
Yeah.
how age can, I mean, really transform you into a. I mean, not better looking at per se, but more confidence is better looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And clearly, I mean, with the amount of times and all these things that you do, you have a world full of confidence now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely higher than it was before. Yeah, before I like definitely was not confident at all. That never felt like I was one of those guys who like if we went to a pool party, I kept the shirt on. Kind of people. So
White shirt though, show off the nipples.
oh yeah, for sure. And then now it's like let's just get down to the smallest thong I can get and just like walk around like what's up? How you doing?
Dude, and you do it and own it though. That's awesome. Like I even bid on you. I bid on you at a show. Which show was that?
Was that oh god?
Was that Kincaso? Was that the auction?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was.
Because I was up last and I was like, my brain was going nuts, and so I was like, nuts.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll put in a $10 bid. I only had so much money, so I was like, I'll put in a $10 bid, and they're like, starting the bidding off at what is it, $30? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, damn it, I don't have much more cash at this point. But those I love the speakeasy, man. I really love it. What a great venue. What were we talking about? Something we were talking about rugby.
We kind of went off on the whole nuts thing. But
Take a shot with me, Papa.
Yeah, no, I got you.
If you've never seen the show before, this is how it goes. And like that, 15 minutes gone. It's a beautiful thing, though.
All right. Yeah, rugby. It's great.
So your dick hanging out of your short shorts in rugby. Man, that's
Close.
what you kind of think about, like old basketball players like Larry Bird. Like, damn, dude, sorry, Larry, if your wiener never popped out. There was actually so when Dennis Rodman came into the league, he made they made a basketball card of him, but it made it through all the presses and all this stuff before people realized, is that Dennis Rodman? Is that his dick hanging out? On the card.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, he's going up for a rebound, and his penis is hanging out of the side, and it got printed. And I've put in bids on eBay. I've been like, I want that card so fucking bad. So if somebody has that card, please just give it to me. I will literally do anything for it. Anything. But yeah, so rugby's a tough sport, man.
Oh yeah, no, it is definitely. It's okay. So like, it has the mantra of being a tough sport, which it is. I'm not going to deny that. But everyone who's either looked at it or possibly like afraid of it, it's really not that bad because everyone's like, well, it's like football but without pads. And I'm like, true. When you see some of the highlights of football players where they just get absolutely like headbutted and just tackled and all that, whatever. It's like it's the same force, but it doesn't hurt because your body's in a position to take it better. Where football is more like upright and just kind of like, I'm going to tackle this guy, like hug him around the shoulders and take him down. Rugby, you got to be like low. And that's why the rugby players have such thick thighs because we're, as the lower the better, really. So if, that's why we do a lot of like bear crawls at practice and stuff like that.
So would I suck at rugby because I'm so short?
No, actually, that's the thing is like rugby is one of the most inclusive sports. It's the only sport that I've personally seen that's like, I mean, football, don't get me wrong, you got the big guys too. But rugby, it's like the big guys are the stars of the team. And that's what drew me to it at first was, I was about the same. I was probably a little shorter back in high school, but
well, you were skinnier. You had like beefed up a ton. You beefed up a ton.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I was in high school, I actually was more like what I am now. And then I lost all the weight to actually join the military.
Gotcha.
So there was a good...
You were in the military?
I enlisted, but unfortunately I got injured throughout training, so I didn't actually complete my contract. So...
Well, thank you for at least doing that.
Right.
I understand that there's complications, but...
Yeah, and like, I was one of the guys, so like what happened with all that was, so I actually ended up losing, what was it? 80 pounds total to join the military. I joined got into the Army, enlisted, went to Fort Benning, all that, whatever. And throughout training, I noticed that there was actually something wrong with my tailbone. And once we talked about it and everything like that, figured out it was like purely out of place. Like I'm talking like out of place.
Uh-huh.
And it was preventing me from doing certain physical exercises. So what happened was I got out, and then they were like, oh yeah, 6 months, you can come back. You can re-enlist if you'd like. So 6 months goes by as I'm working out. I'm keeping up in my Army fit, routine, stuff like that. 6 months goes by, I go in, they're like, hey, actually...
Like on Call of Duty?
Yeah, kind of.
I'm just kidding, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're good. So I go back in 6 months later, and they're like, well, things have changed, it might have to be waiting up to 2 years for you to come back.
Oof.
Which I was kind of like, oh, shit, okay, well, I'm ready, like, let's go. So for 2 full years, it was a plan in the back of my head, and I continued working out and continued, keeping up my physical form and stuff like that just to be ready. 2 years goes by, I go back, and they're just like, we're just not accepting your code, your reasoning, I guess, for leaving before. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not waiting 2 more years. So
you just scrapped it.
Don't get me wrong, it's one of the things, like I totally would have been still in if I made it all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I was dedicated, but at the same time, it's one of those weird things where it's like you put your heart and soul into something just to find out that you can't have it, but then like the universe takes you down a different path.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was at that point that I thought of, well, let's okay, we're not doing the Army. We're not doing that. What else are we doing?
I want to do comedy and burlesque and improv.
Actually, basically, yeah. I mean, what happened was
crazy.
I got out of the Army and I just kind of put that away. I was like, I'm not doing that. And my first foray was actually filmmaking. I was very interested in filmmaking and like, I want to make movies. I want to write scripts, all that, whatever, which I still have that passion as well. But it was, so I got like a video camera, I started doing script writing, I went back to college, like I did all this whatever, and made a couple short films and stuff like that, which led into me doing photography. So then I started doing photo shoots with models and stuff like that. And then that led me to meeting Rain Razor.
We'll clip that start.
Yeah, okay.
Wave it.
Which led to me meeting Rain Razor, who wanted me to start to be the director and filmmaker for a series that she had thought of, and that's what started that relationship. Was me and Rain Razor like trying to do this show, and actually that's why I met Mr. Razor, her husband. Danger Delish. I've met a whole bunch of my now current friends, and that was probably 6-7 years ago at this point. And ever since then, that's what actually led me to being a performer on stage. Was Rain Razor also did some comedy and stuff like that, so they got me into getting up on stage and performing comedy.
So you never, like in high school, you weren't like a theater guy? You weren't a...
It was one of those, like, I wanted to be, but I never had the confidence. Like, the one time, senior year, I auditioned for a play, and I'll tell you what, I was the most nervous wreck during that audition, which is funny, actually, because one of my fellow performers was the one I auditioned with, and it was a kissing scene that we auditioned.
Oh, should we reenact it right now?
Yeah, totally.
Will you kiss me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to clip right here. And that's going to be us kissing. All right. Dude, this is fucking hilarious. All right. Stand up.
Okay.
You're going to, like, look down at me?
Yeah.
All right. So now it's just... Wait, what should we say? Wait, I'll just put this one right here.
Okay.
Okay, so what should we say?
So it was very much like, baby, I missed you so much.
I missed you too.
I had this feeling and I just couldn't get over myself.
I always knew. That was passionate as fuck.
That was it.
God, that was so much mustache and so much beard.
Yeah.
But God, your breath tastes like the rum down there, and it is actually delicious. Oh man!
So
that's gonna be the thumbnail of this podcast as well.
Perfect. Absolutely. absolutely perfect.
Actually, I'm going to say later on shot 30, and then I'm going to put that clip in, so it'll be the start. Everybody's going to be like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, shit.
And we
30
really
million
locked it.
views later.
I felt your lips moving on mine, and everything just changed. God, I almost went for that giant dang-a-lang. Dude, we could force each other to dock at that point. There's that weird sort of porn category, too, that where people, like, put stuff in their pee holes.
I've heard about this.
When I worked at the prison, so I worked at Galesburg Prison for 5 years, East Moline for 2 before I quit as an officer. And there was actually an inmate that I encountered at one point that would shove. He wanted to go to healthcare and he wanted to stay there. He would put chicken bones down there and he would put pencils. He would shove stuff in there, and that's just I think that's maybe not a good route.
Yeah, no. I've never felt like that was like a thing I wanted to do, but that
me either.
but that just there is so many. First of all, let's go ahead and break this down.
Let's break it down.
Because at one point it's like you got to think about what you actually are shoving up in there, and at the second point, you got to think about what's going to happen afterwards? Like, if you're putting raw chicken bones up there, you're definitely going to have, like, UTIs and shit. Like, that's not good.
Or maybe it could have a counteraction and pour up another shot, Papa. Because what if it turned into something like, Spider-Man's very popular in the world right now. But what if it's like the spider bite? Instead, you putting a chicken bone up your pee hole turns you into, like, you have chicken powers.
It gives you fucking chicken powers.
Chicken, dude. What would chicken powers be like?
Oh God!
You can lay eggs and throw them at people. I guess you're like Yoshi.
Just being the asshole waking everyone up at 6 a.m.
That's your
one
only
of the power. That's the power right there.
I like that. Or
charging into rooms and just like, "Hey, wake up!"
Out of nowhere, if somebody makes a quick movement, you just run around in circles really fast.
Well, actually, with one of the powers, you could run around with your head cut off for a while.
You will. I mean, it doesn't go back on after that.
I know that's true too.
It's a terrible power. So you're like 90 years old, like, I loved you all, and then boom, your head comes off, and then you get up,
just get up and run away,
sprint,
just down the street,
one last Usain Bolt. Well, this episode is so stupid. So far we've made out, we've talked about each other's wieners, and now we're in a mythical world of turning into chickens. Why are we turning into chickens? Why are we turning into a girl? Don't we turn into roosters?
Yeah.
We're dudes. Why do we turn into the opposite sex? We're making a transition as
that's the power.
Yeah, I like
that's
it.
The power, apparently.
I like it. Oh my gosh. And we actually had another thing. And before I forget, because this is getting goofier than fuck.
It is.
Now you have had an issue with deciding I can't remember exactly how the email went. I was going to pull it up, but maybe we'll just put a picture of that email that we got.
Sure.
You've had an issue deciding which team you'd be on in Harry Potter?
Yeah. Mainly because, half of me... Okay, so you know that little random test, that house test that you take and you figure out what... I took it probably 20 times. Half of the time I said I was in Gryffindor. Half the other time I said it was in Hufflepuff.
Oh, I thought you were a Slytherin guy. I thought you had that evil dark side, Malfoy.
No, I like eating, so that's why Hufflepuff apparently was the better choice. No, so like... I took it and just back and forth, and then there's like, I'm just sure someone saw this on Facebook because my profile picture is just crazy. But yeah, like when they had like the little frame thing, I was actually trying to figure that out. So I've got one of every house.
What do you mean a frame thing?
So like on Facebook, they had the profile like frame, and you can show off
like
your...
when like the Black Lives Matter support. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So like probably, oh God, what was it like 3 years ago, something like that. They had like all the houses as Facebook profile frames.
Oh, okay.
And so like I was like sitting there and like at this time I didn't really know how to work Facebook, I'll be honest. So I'm just like saying, oh, okay. I didn't know I was saving it as my profile pic. I thought I was just like viewing it. So now I've got one of every house randomly on my profile album. So yeah, just whatever, feeling the day.
Were you a movie guy or book guy?
I was definitely I read the first 4 books. And then once I got to the books that were like, 400 or 500 pages long, I was kind of like, oh, that's a lot of reading. And at that time, the movies were coming out. And like literally, I think it was The Half-Blood Prince. And I'm like looking at it, I'm like, that movie's coming out next month.
Yeah. I might not even be done with it.
Yeah. So I didn't actually finish the series.
I did both. I mean, I was just I got consumed. I'm one of those guys who gets consumed by things. If I start watching a series, I will go nuts. Like Survivor. I used to love Survivor when I was a kid, and then one night we had a couple of friends stay the night, and we were just drunk sitting there, and we're like, "Hey, let's watch Survivor." And then next thing you know, it's 8 a.m. and I finished the season. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? And then I was like, oh shit, there's 42 seasons. Let me watch every single one. 2 weeks later, COVID.
Yeah.
I was done. Yeah. So now I know the characters. Now I love them. Not characters, but actual people.
Yeah.
And so I had to go watch it again. Yep. And now I bought every Survivor buff. Like I wear the buffs. Like, oh, yeah. And I've actually applied to Survivor, but clearly we're not. You have?
Yeah, I have too.
Oh, dude, what if we got in the same season of Survivor? Dude, it'd be an alliance already.
Yeah, it would. It'd be
we'd take it to the end.
Like literally that scene where they're walking off the boats, they'd be like, bro, what's going on?
No, we'd have to trick people.
Oh, that's
we'd
right.
have to hate each. You'd form an alliance with a group of other people, but we'd be so set in stone. Like, listen, I got you no matter what, but we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk unless we're like, well, maybe we'll take each other on a challenge or a reward and let everybody know, like, dude, we know each other, you fuckers. You guys are fucked.
We gotta that's like an end game thing though. We gotta make sure we get past like the whole council thing and just get down to like the final 4, Oh
yeah.
And then do that. And be like, we knew each other the entire time. It was always one of us that was always going back and forth. Like,
it would be good. Yeah. It would be good. Yeah. We actually almost got Richard Hatch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we almost. He messages back. Like he'll still message me, but he's been in so much trouble that he gets in more trouble when he talks, because after he did Survivor, he got in trouble for tax invasion, and then after his tax invasion, they had him on our returning season of Survivor. I think it was season 15 or something like that.
Right. Wasn't that the season they had all the people, like all the famous people come back?
Yeah, all the popular players.
Yep.
And then, but he got in big trouble with Sue Hawk because he was, the nudist, and he rubbed his wiener on her, and she quit the game because she was so, like, it really messed her up.
Right.
And then Survivor actually paid for Sue Hawk to get her boob job and weight loss surgery. Not weight loss, but liposuction. Because the lipo was really popular back then in the early thousands.
God, isn't that a crazy thing to say? Oh, back in the early thousands, let me go get my cane and just sit here. And...
I believe... You have here we go. Let's see. I have a pretty good memory when it comes to stuff. Your birthday was in September, I believe.
Yes.
I would say it was in the 20s, 24th.
24th, yeah, you're right.
September 24th?
Yeah, September 24th, yeah.
What
91.
90. Oh, same. Yeah. So you're 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 32. Oh. Dude, literally, like everything we do, we're like the same person. You're just way bigger than me.
Exactly, man.
We should make replica, like penis molds. Have you ever seen the mold of penis?
I've seen that, yes.
I tried it once.
Yeah?
Failure. Completely a failure.
Really?
Because I had put my you have to get erect. And then you put it in there, and then you leave it there.
Right.
Well, that wasn't very fun. I should have left maybe a hot video on or something because it didn't stay that way.
Yeah, okay.
It kind of just turned into like a mushy, very awkward looking thing, and it didn't look like the product I was expecting.
It's like, wait a minute, why is this here?
Like, why is there, at the end is kind of shrunken a little bit. It looks like it's got a vulture nose on it. I don't know. Or like one of the Black Plague masks.
Wait a minute.
Oh my god.
Although I'm sure someone would find that very appealing and try it out. So you never know.
There is a crowd for everyone.
There is a crowd for everyone.
Oh my gosh. So with your improv stuff,
Yes.
especially your soup stuff.
Yep.
Now, how long have you been in soup?
I have been doing Social Pokeballs is the full name soup that we've been going by. I've been doing that for 5 years now.
And your last show, 5 years, and your last show is coming up.
Yep.
Why is the last show?
So basically, what happened was we kind of, what was it? About a year ago at this point, we all kind of had a sit-down conversation, and all of us were kind of like, most of us, like we call it, we have generations. So like Gen 1 is like me and a couple other people that like the very first ones who did improv because Soup was actually a stand-up show for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So like people like Josh Kahn and Steve Jennings and stuff like that, like they were involved with us, and so it was a stand-up show for a while, and then Rain Razor was actually the one. She's the owner and manager and all that, whatever. So this is her complete baby. So she
And now she has a complete baby.
now she has a baby. That's how it works.
It's a
You have
complete
baby,
one.
and then you have an actual baby.
Yeah.
But no, she. So she wanted to get into the foray of improv because she had time with Blacklist when they were still a big thing and around. And so,
Will Height was in that for a minute, right?
yes, yeah, Will Height, Jennings, Josh Kahn, Brock Nelson, Jason Hahn, and Corey. Oh my God, I'm going to forget his name.
Corey
last name.
Baxter from That's a Raven.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Corey, there's so many others, of course.
Yeah.
TJ, yeah, so there's so many people in that, and then she wanted to go off and do her own improv troupe. And then that's when me and Mr. Razor and Danger Delish, all of our stage names, of course, we all got brought in, and we were considered Gen 1. It was the four of us mainly. We did local shows. We went out and did conventions, anime comic book conventions. Those are so much fun.
I've never been to a Comic-Con, and I've always wanted, like, clearly you can tell, like, I can show you my collection of comic books, and I am such a hardcore fan, but I've never been, and I've always wanted to go.
It is so much fun, both as a performer and as a goer. That's the other thing is, like, I got brought on, and now I'm very much one of the con people. Oh my God, I absolutely love it to death.
Who would you dress as a Comic-Con character?
I've had a cosplay in mind that I've wanted to do, but it's going to cost so much money to do. It's going to cost so much money to do. It's Reinhardt from Overwatch, the video game.
Oh, okay.
All the armor and his big hammer, but like I'm like, dude, I'm 6'4". If I put some lifts on, get up to be like 7 foot,
yeah,
and
just
then
wear some heels,
and then wear some armor, walking down the hallway. And stuff.
That would be a good one. You could also like Korg. Dude, if we could figure out, you would be a good Korg.
That would be good, yeah.
Oh.
What's going up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, new Doug.
Hey, new Doug.
New Doug. Dude, who would I be if I went to a Comic-Con?
Man, okay, so...
Wait, let me show you my piercings real quick.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that it might give you some news.
Oh, man. Because there's many...
You're not gonna find anybody, huh?
You know what?
If you say Gwen Stacy, I'm gonna kill you.
I mean, you might kill me for what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, God, come on. Get the fuck out of here. No. Okay, maybe. Okay. All right, maybe like I could be like Tom Hardy's Venom. Okay.
Yeah.
We're pretty much identical.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, totally.
Or, back in the day, actually, my Wolverine claws. So back when I used to be a power lifter, and dude, I would do the chops, and I would do them just like Wolverine, and it was perfect. Definitely, there's no fat Wolverine. That's not happening anymore.
But in comics, Logan in the comics was what was he, like 5'6"?
Oh yeah,
so he's like perfect height.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to slim down about a lot of weight.
Yeah, well, you know what? He went through COVID too. All right, so we're all.
I'm waiting for my chance. Have you had COVID yet?
I have had it twice now.
I've not had it at all.
Yeah.
Maybe that kiss will give it to me.
No, I hope not, but yeah.
I know. I hope for it.
Oh, there you go.
I'm trying to get some free time off work. They pay for that shit.
Yeah, like the first time I had COVID, it was actually one of the rougher things I went through, honestly. Like, I wasn't as bad. Of course, we have the people who are going to the hospitals and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, luckily, it wasn't as that bad. But I'll tell you what, the one thing that surprised me about COVID, I understood the whole losing the taste and scent, the smell. I lost all of that. However, the one thing that I did not expect was like the delirium.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know what at one point, but there was a thing that went out about COVID. It was like late 2020, early 2021. And they were saying like how, like, I had conversations I don't remember.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like talking to people, and then when I was over COVID, someone was like, hey, we talked about this thing. And I'm like, we did? When? And I'd go through my messages. I'm like, I don't remember, like, for a full week, I do not remember the conversations I had. It was crazy.
I actually kind of get that because when I got my second shot, I almost cashed out. Like, I almost said, this is the end. I thought it was the end. I had a rash. I had a rash that covered my whole body, and it looked like almost just like take chicken pox times 1,000. Yeah. And my skin was like boiling, and so I was at work, and I was like, I feel fine, but I was shivering, and it was like a shiver though, like where your hands are like this, and my boss was like, you need to go home, man. Yeah. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Like I know you're gonna cost me a day. Like I'm fine. I swear to God, I feel fine. I'm just cold. And then as I was driving home, I was shivering so bad, I stopped at McDonald's twice, at 2 different McDonald's, to get a huge thing of water. Drank the whole thing. But I had my heat turned all the way up because it was so cold, and I had a hoodie on. It was 90 degrees outside.
Yep.
I pulled into the driveway right out front of the house.
Yep.
And I had the heat turned all the way up. And I was still cold, and I fell asleep. Mm-hmm. And I woke up, and I thought my skin was going to just fall off. I was so blistered. And ended up coming inside, fell asleep for like 4 hours, and covered in sweat, felt perfect. 4 or 5 hours later, I felt perfect, but it was so scary. And we've had people that have lost eyesight for 2 weeks.
Yep.
We've had a couple of people lose their lives, like that were people that have known people very close to them. It's a very weird disease, man.
Yeah. I mean,
virus. I mean,
yeah. So when I had it, the first time I had it, like I was on the same boat in terms of the thing.
Oh, you're taking a daddy shot of Fireball. Do it.
Right.
Just go for it. It's a beautiful thing, man.
For those who work at the haunted house, they'll be happy.
That's actually where we're going next after this.
All right. Sounds perfect.
Were you at the haunted house the night I went through? You would know because I ran through screaming, almost crying. I didn't even give anybody the time of day. I went I was sprinting.
Yeah, you might have because I might have been there because that sounds like 2 or 3 individuals that I was messing with. So
it was, I think, opening night, I believe. And I ran so fast, left Timmery behind. I was like, baby, I don't care at this point. They're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. And then I got to the clowns, too. I'm like, Brad, I know you're a fucking clown. Fuck you. I fucking hate you. I love you, but, dude, like, I just sprinted. Then that fucking guy at the end made me crawl underneath that thing.
Oh, yeah.
I was crawling to get the fuck away from him, dude. I was crawling. I get scared so easy.
If it was opening night, I wasn't there because I was actually in South Dakota doing a burlesque performance. So, I mean,
so you weren't there.
I wasn't there,
man.
I know
it was good. So, what got you into Skellington?
That was my first real performance. That was the first time I've ever quote unquote acted, ever. So I had a friend I had a friend from high school named Adam who knew another person named Ariel. Shout out to you, Ariel. Who actually got me into the haunted house. She worked there for 5 years at that point, and she was like always talking about it, all this whatever. And I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And then I was just like, hey, I'm available Halloween night. Could I just pop in and just see what I could do? And they were like, yeah, no problem. So I ended up talking to the owners, and they're like, okay, we're gonna put you. So my very first night, they have this thing called the Wopsy Willy. And it's just this big, huge, animatronic, quote-unquote, contraption. it's like a football harness that you put on, and the huge like head thing continues to extend up for another 2 or 3 feet, and it's like in this football helmet. If I turn my head, then he turns his head.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so they put me in that thing my very first night working at the haunted house, and apparently I did a really good job because the owner just came in and to the room I was in. It was just like, dude, you've got the timing down perfectly. You were made for this, all this whatever. I'm just like, okay, cool, like that's awesome. And so ever since then, it's been a return thing. I mean, it's so much fun, and it just So that was 6 years ago now, because like that's also where I met Rain Razor and Bobby Murray and Molly Wilkinson and Matt Carls, like all of my current friends and everything. Like I did that, and then that's basically working at the haunted house has made me into the performer that I am today.
Wow.
Because like literally I did not perform at all before the haunted house, and then I started working at the haunted house, and it was like year 2 or year 3 in. That's when I met everyone else. And that's when comedy started. That's when burlesque started. That's when like everything else. So it was just Isn't it weird the way like one like type of performance or one thing can essentially change your whole life? Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like I always like take it back a moment and just sit back and just be like, holy shit! Like one decision has projected my life in a completely different area that I thought I would never actually get to. Because like, don't get me wrong. Like back in high school. So back in high school, I was like one of those guys who was just like, I wanted to perform, but I didn't have the confidence, and I didn't have like the, I didn't have the go do it attitude. I was just kind of like, well, I'm not funny enough, or, I'm a bigger guy, so why would they, choose me over, this guy, kind of that thinking. And then I started actually just doing it, and it just started sprouting into all the different shit that I do now. And it's just like, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I absolutely take a moment and just imagine, like, it's such a cool feeling just to have one decision completely change your life. And don't you, I think that, I don't know, I kind of think it in, like, dream mode sometimes. Like, it's always I remember being a kid, or even as a grown adult, like, I know it sounds so stupid, but I never played basketball. I wasn't good at basketball. But every time I had a basketball in my hand and I was on a basketball court, let's say by myself, I took that shot, 3, 2, 1, and then put it up, like, and miss it. He was fouled. I suck at basketball. Oh, he's fouled. Like, I'm always that Michael Jordan, LeBron James moment, yep. Kobe Bryant hitting that game winner. Oh, he missed it. Oh, but there's another chance. Yeah. Or I'd like flip the football up to myself as a kid. I'm Devin Hester about to return this punt for a touchdown. Or like even today, like I still like if I have a football in my hands, or if I pick up a football and I'm in my garage, like I pretend like I'm Peyton Manning, take a 3-step drop, look around like, dude, I could have. Like I look in the mirror, I'm like, I could have been that. Like I'd live in like dream mode sometimes. Yep. And I do the same thing with stand-up. Like, sometimes I put, like, I hold my mic in the garage and I'm working on a set, and I pretend that I'm in front of 1,000 people, like, living this dream, like, and that's a fun, because it means that you haven't lost that imagination or that childhood, like those, or I guess the honest to God word would be dreams. You haven't lost those dreams. Oh, yeah. And don't get me wrong. I am one of those people that probably has too many dreams at this point. No, trust me. Like, that's why I'm so involved with everything else, because like every new thing that I've done, there's always that like, well, if I did this, I bet I could be, up here, I could be up doing this thing. So like when I started filmmaking, I was like, I'm the next Peter Jackson. Look at that. I started writing scripts and starting filming stuff. And I'm the next, Werner, I'm the next Chris Nolan, with all this deep thought that I'm doing. But you may not be wrong, but you may be. Yeah. That's the thing is, if we don't explore our minds and the possibilities of our minds, then that's the only way we count ourselves out. So every time I get off stage, I think about, why did I do it like this? Or why didn't I do it like this? Like I told you earlier, I went up to Dubuque and I did an open mic, and I did 5 minutes and 28 seconds to be exact of complete bombing.
And when I tell you complete bombing, I'm telling you there was not even one chuckle throughout the whole thing. And
man.
the week before, that set had murdered.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm just standing on stage and I was like, I just told Tim, I was, why didn't I push that? Just say, screw this on stage. And now I know what's working in this room. Use that. Use that, because the only thing that is working is making fun of comedians. You know, like
Yeah.
it was a room full of comedians, very small audience. So make fun of comedians. That's going to laugh. But I couldn't do it. I was like so stuck in, this is my routine. This is my act. This is what I prepared for, that my brain went, no, don't do it. You got to get to the end. But I knew that sometimes you got to break and improv. And that's where learning too develops you. Whether it is making want to make a movie, write a script and stuff like
Right.
that, you have to learn and adapt and continue to move forward in that.
Yeah.
And whether it's 9 million different avenues, whether it's playing rugby, wanting to do improv, whether it's doing stand-up or karaoke and all these different things, like you're a lot like me, and just a lot like Katy Perry or Rain Razor and some of these people who are exploring 9 million avenues.
Yeah.
And I do want to give Rain a little bit of love because her podcast is doing phenomenal. She's
Yes.
now international, killing
Yeah.
it, boo.
Oh my God. If you have not checked out the Fairy Tree, check it out. As someone who, don't get me wrong, I've been friends with Rain Razor for a while. And I just recently, started actually listening to the podcast. She's going to hate me for this. And I actually started recently listening into it. There is a lot of helpful fucking shit in the podcast she's doing. Like, I'm noticing it. And I'm like just in the mindset, because her podcast is all about manifestation and being a better self and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, like, I'm noticing that.
Sorry, Daddy.
I got you.
All right, take a cheers. Hey, this is to Rain and the Fairy
To
Tree.
Rain Razor and the Fairy Tree right there. But yeah, no, like, I'm actually listening into it now, and like, there's a lot of good shit in that podcast. Like, definitely take it a listen. Like, now she's international. I think she said she had a few listeners in like Poland and various other places. Like, and that's so awesome to see someone just go off and just start doing their own thing and like actually succeeding at it. And like,
And she's good at it. She's good at it. And I can tell you too, believe whatever you want. Anybody in the world can say, oh, you're lying or whatever. Timmery started listening to her podcast. You know, after meeting her, she's so incredible to Timmery too. And so Timmery really wanted to start listening. She started listening and she kept saying stuff to herself like, hey, we're going to come into a good amount of money. And we don't need money. Trust me, there's a lot of people that need money more than we do. But we were sitting. I was in the shower. She got home from work and she walked in the bathroom and she said, "I've been doing this whole like put it out there. We're gonna get money."
yep.
And she goes, "Look at this." And she shows me, oh, you even have a Skellington shirt on.
Yeah.
And so she shows me this check for $5,000. I was like, what the hell is this? She got a restitution check from 17 years ago when she bailed somebody out of jail. $5,000 we received just the day that she was doing that.
Yeah.
We got a check for $5,000. That's why I got my ears pierced. It's because we were hood rich as hell, Daddy.
Hell yeah. Oh, okay, so like honestly, yeah, like holy shit, like that is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, as I'm not gonna say I was a skeptic, but as someone who was like, you're not just gonna will something into existence, you know? Like, come on, like what? You know, I'm very much more like scientific minded, so I'm like, oh, come on, like the possibilities of all this happening at the exact moment that you start thinking it.
Yeah.
You know, like come on, like what up? And then she starts talking, trust me, as someone who's been on the sideline and her experiencing that herself, and then also getting to the point where she's starting to teach it to others, I have seen so much shit that just, there's no way, like I will say it's a hack on life, because holy shit, the whole manifestation thing, that's why I got interested into it now, is because I'm like watching it just happen to multiple people now that I know that.
Yep.
And it's just like, I can't believe it. And then I started listening in, and then now I'm doing it, and it's just like, holy shit. This is like a whole thing. It's like literally a life hack, you know?
Yeah, like, and there is such a place for, like Rain and her words. Like my podcast is very silly and stupid, but there's a place for it in somebody's life, like whether it's a stupid chuckle or whether it's, like an uplifting thing. And sometimes you find just you hear something and it makes you believe it. I will never forget. I don't even know what the podcast was called. I was listening to this podcast. It was almost a year ago, and it said, "If you are so miserable at your job, just go get another one." And I was like, "Yeah, that's easy to say. That's easy to say
Right.
when you don't have a family of 5, 3 daughters to feed,
Right.
cars, and you live in the middle of nowhere where there's no jobs to just be had." And then I just kept going, I know that I'm good at this or good at that. And got college for free through Timmery's work, and I was taking it and I was pushing and pushing and pushing. And then I just went, I'm just going to start putting in. And I got 5 job offers that next week. And I took the next one where I was driving in a truck that didn't have air conditioner or heat for 4 years. I was freezing to death or sweating my ass off every day. And now I have a 2022 truck out in the freaking driveway. That's my work vehicle.
Yeah.
And I've got a freaking GPS screen that was that big. And I'm doing the same job as I was doing before.
Yeah.
Making $10,000, $12,000 more a year. But, it's just we get so afraid to do stuff like that. Like we're in this routine or this habit. It's like the way people get in a relationship. They're so afraid to leave a relationship because this is their routine.
Yeah.
And, you may be miserable, but this is your life. This is your routine.
Yep.
Even though what is on the other side can be so beautiful. The grass can be so green.
Yeah. As someone who has taken risk and someone who has, when I say taken risk, it's not like, I've done a whole lot, in terms
Well, you got that giant dick, dude. So, all you have to do is flaunt one thing, and next thing you know, you probably can hypnotize people. Like,
dude, that's...
You got that spinning what was that show called? Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone? Yeah. So I got the whole thing there. Just like have it just go back and forth like a little clock.
You have now entered the Twilight Zone.
You got a perfect voice for doing that, by the way. I'm just saying. No, I will always be one of those people that are gonna hype. Like, I will always tell everyone to just go for it. Just go and do it. As someone who was one of those who was too much in their head and was always like, they're not going to think it's cool, or I'm not going to be very good at it, like whatever. It's like, just fucking go and do it. And then make your assumptions on whether it was good or not. Because I'll tell you what, once you actually physically go and do it, and just, whatever it is too, like me, like I'm just... photography, comedy, burlesque, whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, just go fucking for it and just do it, because by the time you, let's say first show or, whatever, the first thing that you do with it, I'll tell you what, you're going to feel so much better that you did it. Because I've always as being one of those people that was kind of in the background, never wanted to be an extrovert. And then just going for it and just doing it. And now, trust me, it is a life-changing mindset to just go and do it and just have that risk-taking attitude. Just go for it. So anyone watching, just fucking go for it. Whatever you're thinking about doing right now, well, unless you're about to commit a crime, but if you're,
well, go do that crime.
Yeah, just go do that crime.
If
see how it
do
is.
the crime, get away with it. Do it right. Watch a couple movies first. Watch Ted Bundy do his action. I know I see you reaching for it, Daddy.
Yeah, I got you. All right.
But it is the very first time I was told to do, so after my powerlifting career came to a crashing end, I was in the deepest of depressions. I was in a miserable relationship for me.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming that on the other person. I'm saying that it was for me, it was miserable.
Yeah.
And I just knew. I knew that I had to do something. And the weirdest thing came across me. It was, hey, I had a YouTube channel when I was a kid, and it was called Shane N6, the YouTube guy. And everybody just kept calling me the YouTube guy. And I was 17 years old and had 50,000 views on a YouTube video. Like, I was walking around school like I was cool. Like, I mean, I was captain of the football team. Like, I was good at sports. I don't know. And I wanted to do the play, but it took me till my senior year to do the play, and then I got the lead role.
Yeah.
And then the play sucks so bad. Like, I mean, but it was like things where I could see myself wanting to try to, like, there's a place where everybody wants to be. Some people don't want to be in the spotlight. Some people want to, make other people feel good, or like that, like. I dream about being a masseuse and want to make people feel good and have a successful business where it's zen and peaceful, or do hair. I want to make people look beautiful. And I get this high off of watching people walk out of my studio looking beautiful. Like everybody can have these different avenues, but I always wanted to just like somehow, I don't know, make people laugh or entertain people.
Yeah.
And then when the powerlifting came to a crash, like it was a terrible, terrible injury, and I just wanted to do stand up, and I was so bad. I was so bad, and I couldn't understand it. That every time I walked off the stage, I was like, I fucking hate this. Or why am I even doing this? And then the first time I got laughs, like the very first time I heard people legitimately laughing, it was like, I need it. I need it.
Because I don't know if you knew this, I also did stand-up for a little bit.
I know, yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's why I said comedy, yeah. Like,
yeah, so I understand exactly what you're saying. When you get up in front of a crowd and you just have some pre-written shit that you're just like honestly, when I did my first little 5-minute, the Laugh Hard at the Speakeasy, I was like, man, I don't think this is gonna work. But I started doing it, and like I was, I guess, a shot. What's the saying? Lucky first try, or rookie's luck, or whatever.
Yeah, beginner's luck.
Beginner's luck. That's what it is.
That's it.
And
that's that Nicaraguan rum.
It's that rum that's just getting to me right now. So yeah, like when I first got up and did stand up, like I was like, nah, this is gonna bomb, like whatever. Like I had a joke about working at Taco Bell and just like doing sake shots, like what the fuck. But I did it, and like people started laughing, and it was just like, yeah. So I totally get what you're saying when it comes to that whole like needing the laughs, because that started a drive for. I was already doing improv at that time, but like that just started a drive of like, I need to be the performer, I need to be more of the entertainer, and get out there and just fucking make people laugh and make people enjoy themselves.
And it's one of those things too. Like I kind of hold stand up on a pedestal, and I don't mean that because I do stand up. I mean it because you're living and dying up there. When things aren't going your way, it's pretty tough to fix it.
Yeah.
You're just in that moment, relishing in that moment. And so when and in no way would I want this to be presented as arrogance, but when I won the Speakeasy Laugh Hard 2021 thing, like that first set that I had made, I was standing on stage just mesmerized by the fact that I did a set about fucking Peyton Manning and every person in there loved it. Like, and then the next week I started writing my set on Tuesday because I had advanced. I never thought I was going to advance. Because I've been in that thing twice now, and there's no way. There's these guys that are so much more funny than me. But I had put together something and went up on stage that Saturday night, and I walked off the stage, and no one will ever know. I was wiping tears because I could not believe I had the room laughing as I was taking a drink of beer.
Yeah.
At one point, I took a sip of beer, and the whole room laughed and thought it was funny. And that was the highest high. And now I'm in this place where get back to that feeling of it's just the highest of highs.
Yep.
You can have a great show, but man, you're fighting for that high, whether it's stand-up singing or performing theater. You always look for that next level and try to avoid that bottom level because that lowest of lows that I got literally a couple days ago is the worst.
Yeah. No, I feel that because like my first time doing stand up was one of the higher highs because it was like it's your first time out. You don't know if it's going to work or not. You know, like this is your first time doing it. And then when you have the luck of like you getting the right crowd and like everyone's loving what you're putting out, that like started to, like show high was not enough to describe what I was feeling after I got off stage.
How do you feel different about burlesque to stand up? Like that the high of getting laughs rather than the highs of doing like a burlesque performance where you get the screams, the hoots and hollers, the horny.
Yeah.
How do you feel different about each one?
So for me personally, for someone who's done both, the laughs and the comedy, like that's been a thing that I've done since I was a kid. Like I was always the kid, like even at like family reunions, I was doing shit to make people laugh, you know? So I was always like trying to make people laugh and trying to, you know, do all that. So when it comes to the comedy things, like it is definitely a show high, but it's more like this is what I do. This is I like more comfortable in the terms of like this is what I do. I'm used to this. When it comes to burlesque, however, as someone who's always like body dysmorphia and always was like, you know, I don't have a six pack. Like I'm a big dude. Like I'm not the fucking skinny six pack dude that most women are, you know, looking for, you know, whatever, that idea, that mentality. So when I do burlesque and people are like actually enjoying it and like hooting and hollering and all that, whatever, it's like it's such a different show high. It's such like, it has a deeper meaning. Because like when you go out there, it's one thing to go out there and make someone laugh because comedy's a thing. Comedy, like it's like a human nature kind of thing. We always are laughing. We're always like in, you know, trying to make each other laugh or whatever. But when it comes to like burlesque and trying to have someone get that feeling of like the horniness, you know, basically, you know,
desire,
the lust, you know,
yes,
and trying to be that someone's perfect, you know, dream man,
fantasy,
you know, fantasy.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, fantasy. It is such a like it's like a show high, but on crack, basically. Because it's like I never thought that this would be a thing. I never thought that this would be something that I'm into. You know, or that I'm going to do
or
well at.
Presenting.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, don't get me wrong, like, I am not a skinny dude. Like, I'm not Zac Efron. I'm not, you know, if I got lucky enough, maybe I'd look like The Rock after, you know, 5 years of weightlifting, you know, you know, or whatever, you know. And, so it's definitely a different feeling when someone sees you and it's like, it has that human drive, that primalistic like need to well, I mean, I'm going to say to mate, but you know, to you know,
when somebody
that lust,
you know, like when somebody wants to come up to you after a show and like feel your arms or just hug you or touch you, you know, like it's a very much of it's such a high.
Yeah.
And so when I did a show for Mary Quite Contrary's House of Burlesque, and they asked me to do stand up. Yeah. And so I had done stand up. I did about I think probably 7 minutes, and it was good. Like I made it. It was a full set about burlesque.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to reach the crowd that I'm performing for.
Yeah.
And I did that, and it was good. I was like, "This is oh man, I can't believe I killed it for this." But then I was like, you know what? It's everybody's first time performing burlesque out here. How about it's mine too? And I said, cue the music. No one knew I was going to do it.
Fuck yeah.
And they played, Call Me What You Want. and dude, I stripped down into this glitter onesie, had pasties on. I was crawling around, didn't prepare. I was humping the ground, just sliding. And that crowd was such an incredible difference that I literally walked off the stage and Timmery looked at me. She was like, baby, you can. I was like, baby, I'm in Jupiter right now. Like, just let me walk outside and get some air because I had reached both of those crowds and morphed them into one, and my brain was like completely just shaken. I walked outside, puked my fucking brains out. Couldn't believe that just happened because I never thought I was gonna do burlesque in my life.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, like, as a guy, there has been so many, like, okay, so you have the one side of it, because we have, like, Manscaped, the all-masculine burlesque troupe at Circa 21, which is great. Don't get me wrong, if you want to see some dudes and some masculine presenting people, definitely go check it out. But, like, it is such, you felt it, the felt of desire, like the felt that someone was like, oh my god, like, yes, this is what I needed, like, whatever, and it's just like, it's such a different feeling.
Don't touch my fucking Gatorade ever again.
Sorry.
I'll kiss you again.
Well, if that's the case,
we'll just clip back to another video of us kissing again right here.
Just like a whole 5 minutes of just,
People think that they're going to get an episode. It's just us.
Just like making out blood.
That's going to turn into a GIF. Or GIF. I don't know what people call them these days.
It's GIF. Okay, this is my thing. You don't go to the Jiffery store. You don't go to the...
Do you go to the Geifery? The Geif? The Geif?
The Geif?
Yeah. Let's change it to
GIF. It's GIF. Okay. As someone who... Like, my sister who's an IT professional...
You just said it was GIF. And then you just said it was GIF.
No, it's GIF. It's GIF.
You just said GIF, though.
I'm so sorry. Well, I don't mean that. It's GIF. It's GIF. Wow, what's going on with this rum you got going on?
Well, hey, let's take one last one.
Okay. Yeah,
and then we need to, we're going to wrap this thing up because I cannot believe that we're at an hour 10.
I can't believe that either.
But I would absolutely love for you to come back.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, this, what the cool thing is about this is just us meeting each other.
Yep.
Other than quick sentences here and there and me hearing about you and this or that, man, we just spent an hour and 10 minutes. How often do you get to have an hour and 10-minute conversation with no interruptions?
Yeah, no, very little. Very little.
I don't even know if I've had an hour and 10-minute conversation total tops, all combined with my parents. Like where there's no distractions, no phone. Hey, we're just sitting here for this period of time. That's why this is why I love this so much. Because I love to talk to people. I love to sit here and look at people and hear what makes, I can look at you and see what's about to make you excited before you even say it. Like, I know that you're like,
yeah, it's just like, oh, wait a minute, I got it right
and, like, I can see you get all ready. You're like, oh, well, yeah, I've got these short shorts on for rugby. And you want to know why? Well, Daddy, we already know why. Where can everybody find your stuff, your shows? And, I mean, is it Voicigaul? Is that...
So, you ready for this giant list of shit that
Give it all, and we're going to have it all here, and we're also going to attach it below.
Okay, cool. So first thing is first, gotta give some love to the improv troupe that I'm with. So Shosha Pokeballs Improv.
Last show
is February 5th. We're literally gonna have stand-up skits, improv. It's gonna be a full 2-hour show. It's totally worth it. We're going out with a bang kind of level of shit. It's literally going to be everything we can put out. So definitely check that out.
Pack the house for it.
Pack the house. Oh my God, definitely pack the house. So second thing is I'm burlesque dancer, so Bottoms Up Burlesque as well as Manscaped Burlesque. Check them both out. Second thing is I do my own like voice acting and I do Twitch streaming and stuff like that. So Voicigaul is so like voicey in terms of voice acting, and then Gaul. So definitely check out on Twitch. I took a little hiatus, but I'm coming back in a week or two. So definitely check it out. We stream all kinds of cool games and chit chat, kind of like this. Like honestly, this is like streaming has made me be like, oh, maybe I could do a podcast myself. You know?
Should. You'd be very good.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. So
more kissing though.
What?
I said more kissing though.
Oh, more kissing. We got to do more kissing. So Voicigaul is the Twitch handle. And then Voicigaul also on Instagram. And then, yeah, I mean, Ragnar Iron Axe is my stage name in terms of burlesque. So definitely follow Instagram, Facebook profile, stuff like that. So it's cool.
And would you ever consider starting an OnlyFans with that sack, Daddy?
Which is funny enough, I actually had a premium Snapchat when it was a thing, when it was first started out. Kind of
the free pass.
I haven't done it in a while, but for you, I would do anything. So, yeah, we got you.
I love you. I can't wait to figure out more ideas, and I would love to. Let's make some skits, man. Let's do some things together. Because I've always, especially with our TikTok when it did what it did. I've always looked for people. I just couldn't find people who were interested in making skits or dependable. And that was that's why I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
But hey, this is Shot 30 Podcast. That's Craig Gaul. He's beautiful and perfect. He will be back. I promise you that. Actually, he'll probably be back for multiple different things.
Hey.
But Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Leave a comment down below. Go like the video and subscribe. If you're on Apple Podcasts just listening, please leave a review. This is Shot 30.